Today we face a troubled and complex landscape of armed conflict and peacemaking. I describe its state as complex because we have multiple armed conflicts with peace processes now spanning decades and still counting, which have undergone circuitous routes and stop-and-go cycles under several presidencies. While it is the Mindanao peace process with the MILF, which currently attracts the most interest worldwide, the reality is we still have the insurgency being waged for more than 43 years now by the CPP-NPA, with its most blooded battleground currently situated in northeastern Mindanao. We still need to put closure to peace processes with armed parties, covering specific areas of the country, namely the CPLA in the Cordilleras, which signed a peace agreement with government 25 years ago, and the RPMP-RPA-ABB, with its main base in Western Visayas, which signed a truce with government a decade ago, both breakaway groups from the CPP-NPA. We say these processes are unfinished because, as you will note from the names they continue to carry: Cordillera People's Liberation Army, the CPLA, Revolutionary Proletarian Army, RPA. They still frame their existence and the structure and operations of their organizations as military. In Mindanao, the MNLF, which signed a final peace agreement with government in 1996, after signing an earlier accord, the original Tripoli Agreement in 1976 under Marcos, continues to identify itself with camps, base commands, uniforms with matching military ranks. All in all, we are currently engaged in not just one, not just two, but 6 peace tables. Of the 6 tables, only 2 constitute comprehensive negotiations for a political settlement, that with the MILF and with the CPP, NPA, NDF respectively. The other tables are engaged in conversations to complete the implementation of agreements long concluded. There are 6 tables with 5 groups, because the RPMP, RPA, ABB split into 2 irreconcilable factions in 2007. The imperative is to conclude political settlements or closure agreements with the different groups and ensure a firm start, if not the completion of implementation of these agreements within the window that we now have. That is within the 6-year term of Pinoy, now with just 4 years, 4 months, and 27 days left to it. We count every month how many days are left. It is our goal to have agreements signed by midterm of this administration, because we do not want to sign at the last hour and then leave it to the next administration to implement. We cannot engage in endless contestation over who is at fault for failure of compliance. On the peace front, all these unfinished business, malingering for so many years, have resulted in the layering and overlay of issues, permutations of formations with internal splits, splinters, further splintering, morphing and mutation of agenda, and the freezing in time of protocols and procedures that too often have taken precedence over substantive negotiations. Inevitably, these have helped fuel among our people increased levels of frustration, even exhaustion, as manifested by the high trust and satisfaction rates of the President and the equally high hopes of our people. At the end of the day, after a fierce roller coaster or ride of a process, peace talks with the MILF is back on track, with both parties having been able to explain their positions, exploring roadmaps, and remaining open and hopeful that shared lasting solutions can be found. Meanwhile, the process for a determined reform of the governance of ARM has been set in motion. The closure tracks have been proceeding significantly as well, with forthright actions and discussions with the CPLA and the RPMP-RPA-ABB, respectively, proceeding on the matter of profiling of combatants, registration of firearms, security and livelihood concerns. The CPLA has initiated its transformation into an unarmed, potent socio-economic force with a series of leadership trainings and its registration with SEC under a new name, the Cordillera Forum on Peace and Development. There is so much more to reflect on, so many lessons and insights we are gaining every day, such as those about the nexus between peace, development, and good governance, about the politics of peace. the requirements of policy and institutional cohesion, the roles, contributions, and recognition of women, particularly in Track 1, about security sector reform. On this last topic, I cannot but be amazed over the pace and depth, continuously accompanied by introspection and dialogue with partners, by which the current military leadership, across the terms of 3 chiefs of staff, has turned and continues to turn the institution. Will need a vast constituency, and we will be ready to speak until our voices grow hoarse, and to make our message be heard above the din of the noise. We will continue to toil in the search for solutions instead of just criticize and complain. We will continue to build relationships based on dignity, mutual trust,